All right, my friends. Let's do the thing. Hello, this webcam. My name is Mike Bifulco. I am Technical Director for Gymnasium.com, the website wherein you see right in front of you, we offer free online self-paced video courses on design and development of web technologies and tools and tactics, techniques, all sorts of things having to do with that kind of stuff. You should register on our site if you haven't already. Accounts are free. Our courses are free. They're always free. They're always self-paced, and they're all video courses taught by instructors who are world-class at what they do. Our most recent course is this UX design course, this prototyping course, which is available on our courses page. You should go check it out. It's a great course. I am coming back from a week of vacation. This is really my first full day back, so I've been kind of digging myself out of my inbox all day, but I'm going to pick up with work on our re-implementation of Gymnasium on Gatsby. We are using Gatsby and React and all the goodness that comes along with that, as well as a CMS called TakeShape, to re-implement the front end that you see here of Gymnasium in a more maintainable way for ourselves. So what we've been working on over the past few weeks was redoing this interface, all of the goodness that we see here. Oh boy, I'm going to see myself for a second here. Let me refresh this and remove the banner with myself on it, because it'll only serve to confuse things. Oh boy. Sorry, it's going to get messy for a second because I did the wrong thing. All right, great. So we're rebuilding this home page that you see in front of you here, and I am about midway through this page. Of course, one of the details that's important here is that as you see the newly implemented page, one of the important things to note is that, like the featured courses, for example, comes from the CMS. So the reason we only see one here is because I've only currently put one into the CMS, but if we added more featured courses, they would all pop up here in order. We've been working our way down this page. There are actually a few things I want to do today. I'm going to try to accomplish in the course of the stream, one of which I need to, I guess we'll start on a fresh branch. One of the things I'm going to do is update the storybook stuff for this project. Actually, I'll probably do that offline. That's not super exciting. But there have been a bunch of updates to Storybook that I'd like to get into the project. I also finally got a response on the issue that I created a while back for customizing post-CSS with Storybook that I think we'll be able to get to work so that we can start to use both Storybook and Gatsby side by side, which will be really nice. And then there's some more work to be done on the homepage here, this as seen in business that we've got at the bottom here. And then the find work section, we're going to, this may look familiar, basically we're going to re-implement the component that we had done in the jobs module. We're going to move it over to this project and set it up as a React loadable dynamic component so that we can have a bit of fancy front-end dynamicism on our loaded pages. So with that being said, let's pick up where we, well, not really where we left off. Let's pick up with some new work, I guess, this week. We can look at this as seen in. I think this is going to be a very simple thing to do, so we may as well get it done. It's really just including 5 images and links for things that Gymnasium has been seen in. This section could probably use an update as well, because I think we've been featured in a bunch of other publications since we last updated this. And so let's get going on that. So what does that look like? Well, it's probably going to be a new content type. This is our CMS, TakeShape. We should probably start a new branch for this. So we're going to do, well, this one's called Feature Homepage. We'll do, did I ever merge this? Let's find out. Oh, got to do this on the monitor you can see. Right, so there are a few open pull requests from Dependabot to keep my Storybook business up to date. Let's see what the difference is between homepage and master. Yeah, there's nothing new there. So we did merge that. So I'm actually just going to start a new branch. We'll call it feature / as seen in. We can work on that real quick. And I'm going to delete this homepage branch because we don't need it anymore. I apologize for the noise you're hearing in the background. That's my cat playing right next to me at my desk here. Okay, so we're going to make this as seen in section. We will do that by starting in the CMS. We're going to add a content type called as seen in. And we're going to give this thing a description of links to publications that have featured Gymnasium. There will be multiple. As seen in is probably not the best name for this. Yeah, we'll leave it for now. We can always change that later. And then for this content type, we're going to need a couple of things. We're going to need a single line, which will be the URL. URL link to the featured, to the article Gymnasium was featured in. This should be required. And then we're going to need an image, which is, I believe, called an asset. Trip this in here. It's going to be a feature publication logo. There we go. And this will also be required. And that's it. I think that's all we need. A URL and a picture. So we're going to create a new as seen in. We're going to make one for each one of these. Fast Company, Forbes, Inc., Le Monde, and Fox Business. We will, let's see, how should we do this? So I guess I don't need the images in my source control exactly, but we'll start there. We're going to just grab all these images and plop them into this folder, which is apparently harder than it looks. Please, thank you. No, that won't work yet. Okay, then we're going to come in here. We're going to start with Fast Company. The URL is this. Copy link address. Boom. We'll choose a new image. We'll upload a new image. We're going to go to source. We're going to go to Gymnasium. We're going to go to Gym front end. Source. We'll set do not disturb so you guys don't get my text messages. Sorry about that. We're going to do first one, I think we said was Fast Company. Open that. Right? Yes. Oh, yeah, that's a link to Fast Company anyway. Drop that in there. We'll save that. I guess I could give these a title just to make it a little easier to see. We're going to upload the next one. I'm going to do these in the same order. So Forbes next. We'll grab the link from Forbes. Pop it here, we'll upload it. Oops. I guess I can upload all of them. Fox Business and Le Monde and Inc. I think that's all of them. We'll grab the Forbes logo and put it into place. Hit save. Next we'll do Inc. Copy link address. Plop that in there, hit save. Next is Le Monde. And then finally, Fox Business. Save that. We've got our 5 links. I think it's okay. I don't really think I need to put a title there. Actually, you know what? I disagree with myself. We need to add a bit of content to this for... There's likely an alt label on these, right? Oh, but that's a metadata of the image. So I can come and go into my asset library, and give this a Fox Business. That's the title. Perfect. Save. This will be Forbes. Save. Le Monde. Who knows how good my French is, but I think that's how you say that. Inc. And Fast Company. Save all of those. And then we need to write a query for this. So how do we do that? Well, we kill this. We do Gatsby clean to clear my cache. Ooh, we can update Gatsby CLI. Which I should do because I'm on a newer version of Gatsby. Anyway. That'll take a second. We should run yarn to make sure all the things are installed, although I think that probably just did it. Oh no, it didn't, because that was a global package update. This will take a second as well. My apologies. Cool. Oh, and I should have Twitch open so that I can keep an eye on the chat. We're gonna run Gatsby clean again. Hopefully this thing will stop yelling at me. Great. Gatsby start. Oh no, yarn start. Which runs Gatsby develop in the background. That should go and rerun all my queries from TakeShape to get all the content from it. Which means when this thing comes back up, we can look at how we can query for that as seen in stuff, which will end up going on. Ooh, I already even made the componentry for it. I'm so good to myself. Okay, as seen in, there we go. We're gonna do URL and image will probably be the things that are passed into this. Ooh, what's it doing here? Compiled successfully. That's interesting. That's all new to me. We'll open up the GraphQL Explorer and look at the format that this stuff comes in as. So, that's again on the monitor you can't see. So if I go to, I'll take shape and get as seen in list and run it. Total, no. Items, we want URL, we want publication logo, probably title and get image URL on cover image.path. Here we go. Okay. So we need to add this stuff to the query for that home page. So we'll come to home page, or yeah, that's fine. We got to work this out. This prop is going to be called, I don't know. Maybe I'm not happy with that name that I gave this. We can work on that. Pages, index. So this has author, it has a course type, it has, okay, those are all the courses. We're gonna do that, which should be good. And then into here, we'll grab okay, awesome. So Yeah, I think that's a good nomenclature for it. So we'll call it items. And we're going to do a prop types here. This will be, we need a for each, so we're going to say sorry, spinning here. Put a div around this. We're going to do items dot map item for each item we're going to return. For now we'll just do a span. Inside that span we're going to do item dot URL. Great. That might list something. It might have just broken everything. No, there we go. There's my URLs. I see, and they're all spans, so they're on the same line. There we go. My nice URLs. We're going to copy this because we're going to need to get the image URL from take shape. We're going to do img src equals get image URL. And that's going to be item dot item dot cover image dot path in here, and then we'll do alt equals item dot cover image dot title, which I don't think we actually passed in. Oh, we did. Okay, great. Do that. That should give me the 5 images. Nope. Cannot read property path of undefined. Is cover image all lowercase? Of course, its publication logo is why. There are my 5 images, and now we just need to mock the structure of this. So we're going to import from React Bootstrap, and in here we're going to do a row and row, and then for each of these images we're going to wrap it in a call, which will spread them across the page. But it looks like we have that offset anyway. We also need to center those images. It's a good start. They are in reverse order, which I guess doesn't really matter. I've just gotten used to looking at them the other way. And then we can do how can I offset this? I can do call md offset equals 1, and then another row here, and then I can do a go. I didn't do the math right? What's going on there? it is something like this. I gotta look that up. I forgot the syntax. Yeah, yes, please. It is span and then offset. So span 10, offset 1. Look at that. Those should look roughly identical. Sizes are ever so slightly different. Okay, and so now we have our as seen in section. What do I need to do to change the title? The title needs to be centered and not all caps. We can do that. Is that it? It is, okay. Oh, do the URLs work? No, because I haven't put in a link. Is it called outside link? Okay. I don't have Google Analytics added. Let me show you this. So this is an interesting thing. When you start to add Google Analytics to a Gatsby project, which we should do. So we're going to go to plugins. We're going to go to Google Analytics. Actually, we should probably use Google Tag Manager. I think this is what we want instead, is Google Tag Manager. We're going to need both packages. So I'll start with this. We'll do yarn add this guy. And then we're going to do yarn add this guy. And I'll show you how this all works. Okay, so that sets up, that added, actually I need to continue to do the setup. So that added Google Analytics and Google Tag Manager to the project. To include Google Analytics, the very minimum you need to do is add a Google Analytics tracking ID as a plugin. So we're going to do that. We'll go to Gatsby config. We'll zoom in. We're going to add an entry in here. It doesn't really matter where. I'm going to put it first. Sure. We'll give it a resolve of, oops, that. And then options. You know, we'll put in all this stuff and then remove what we defines where to place the tracking script. True in the head, false in the body. Sure, we'll leave it in the body. We're going to go to Gymnasium and grab our Google Analytics ID. Which is this here. Okay. Drop that in here. Setting this parameter as optional, anonymize, respect TNT. Yes, we want to do both of those things. Don't need exclude. We don't have optimized setup or variations, sample rate, fine. All this other stuff, we're just going to let it be. So this sets up Google Analytics, but the interesting thing that comes along with the Google Analytics package is this outbound link component, which is what I was looking for moments ago. So we do like this, And every time we link to something outside of the site, we will use it. So on my as seen in, which should all link externally, we're going to import outbound link, and we're going to wrap that image in an outbound link with an href of item.url. And importantly, we're going to do this. Target equals blank. Rel equals no opener, no referrer. And now we have our stuff wrapped in a link. Good. We should be able to start this thing. And that should work. And those outbound links add a little bit of niceness to Google Analytics. Make it easy to track clicks on outbound links in Google Analytics. So we'll actually know if people start clicking those things, which is great. You'll see we'll also use that for our job listings, which go to an external site run by Equint. Ooh, we have warnings. Prop types is defined but never used. That's correct. I need to remedy that. There we go. And that's the shape of the thing. Okay, so now we have a validator there. No warnings. Lovely. So now I should have links around these guys. And if I inspect it, there will be an anchor, so you can see that's an external link with a target of blank, which means it'll open in a new tab. This prevents some of the, cross-site scripting nonsense that can happen with external links taking over your page. And in the background, Google Analytics should be loaded, so. Oh, actually, that may only happen in production. So Google Analytics, the script won't load when I'm running Gatsby develop, which is what we're running. But the links will still work and all that. In production, we'll start to get our traffic tracked through analytics and all the nice stuff that comes along with this being plugged into Gatsby, which is great. Now, we also may want to use Google Tag Manager to set up our Google environment, our tracking analytics, whatnot on the site. I'm going to hold off on that for now. That'll be another sort of separate endeavor. But what we can see now is we've got this nice as seen in section. We need to fix the title. We're going to do that with some CSS. Capitalize. I think that's all we need. Oops, and classes, that title, that should do. Oop. Gotta have the full name there. There you go. As seen in is now lowercase. It is centered. Does not have a colon on it. It's funny that the reverse seems to be not working? What's happening here? What did I do? Oh, we're getting some errors. Okay. Each child on the list should have a unique key prop. That's important. We need to do... that's exactly what's happening. Okay, so when you render a list of things in React, it needs a key set so that it knows... it needs a unique ID set for each item so that the shadow DOM can keep track of them. So we're going to do ID equals item dot underscore ID. Oops, actually this will be key. We need to come into this guy and pass that in as an ID in here. You don't need the total. Oh, okay. Seen in list. I did that wrong. That should go here. Great. Okay, so what's the error now? H1 cannot appear as a child of H2. H1 created by title is a child of an H2 somewhere. How do you figure? So it's saying H1 created by title. Wait, H1 in title, H2. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, this is in featured course. Ah, I see. Well, we should fix that anyway. Ah. And I believe if I go to title, we gave it a component. And there we go, my error is gone. Okay. What does that all say? I don't really know. But what we did is we have now added our as seen in section to the home page here. If I click on one of these, it should link in a new tab. It's hooked up to Google Analytics. It's also hooked up to the CMS, so if we had another link we wanted to add in there, we could do that. And if we wanted to remove one of these as seen in links in the future, we could come into our CMS, grab one of these guys, and simply disable it here and hit save, and it would disappear from that list. Lovely. Okay. That's good. That's as seen in. So we're gonna commit that. Make sure all the stuff in here is good. Google Analytics. And then we can get rid of all of these guys. Oops, in stage all. We're gonna get rid of these images, which actually I can just come in and delete. These are in our CMS. That's great. They're gone. Okay. And our as seen in component. Fix the error in our featured course. Commit that. All right, we can push this. And because it's been a bit, I'm going to go through the process of doing the pull request and doing the publish and all that for this. Sign myself. We'll do enhancement. Create the pull request. Maybe even drop in a little screenshot here. These should have been dashes and not pluses. What was I thinking? And then I'm just going to merge this once these tests all pass, rather than wait for an approval. It's a pretty trivial update. And that is most of the homepage done. We need to get, we need to get content added, need to do all that good stuff still. But I think from there, so what's left is find work, which we need to migrate from another project into here, which is a worthwhile thing to do. That's going to be a big beast. I don't know if we should tackle that on today's stream. Maybe we will. I don't know. We still need to get around to navigation. That's going to be tricky, but that'll be fun too. That's going to be a good stream. We'll do the whole navigation on one stream. That'll be quite the day for us to go through. There's a lot going on there. Where are my tests? I don't really know how long this takes nowadays. We can watch this thing run its course. It's going to do the deploy. Site is live. Wow, did I already finish? Wow. Okay. So it's got to get through some of the other checks. Let's let it do that. I'm gonna go grab some water. I'll be back in just a second. And I am back. Yeah, looks like it's still working. Man, this is taking a bit. What are we waiting on? Storybook. All the storybook stuff is slow. Man. So we never really got Storybook working correctly for the project to begin with. And there's a bit of work to get going. I'm not entirely sure. Justin, this might be something worth you and I talking through, but I don't know that we really need to be using Storybook. Just given the way that the Gatsby development flow works, it might be just easy enough to use Gatsby. I don't know. All right, well, looks like that's done. All these tests should be passing. And I'm just going to merge this with my administrator privileges. Okay, that was that. That was an entire feature start to finish in, I don't know, 45 minutes. Not too bad. So now that'll go and deploy itself. We're going to make a new branch to work from, and we're going to do the next page, which comes from this stuff, which would be on the courses page. So as a reminder, we do have a courses catalog, and on that page we have this Learn More button, which goes to the About page for a given course. So right now that looks like this, and we're going to start to build this out next, which is just another little layout. We can work through this. There's some fun stuff that'll go into this because we're going to be grabbing a lot of content from the CMS. We're also going to be doing some layout stuff. We should do some responsive checks to make sure that the site is still working responsibly and all that. But this is going to be a good activity, particularly because we have to hook up some routes. We have to write a bunch of queries to make that happen. This is good stuff. This is all fun Gatsby stuff. So what we want to be able to do is go from here to courses 100 about, but that doesn't exist right now. So how do we make that happen? First of all, we make a new branch, which I started to say. We're from here, we're going to call it feature course about page. And then we will switch to that branch. We're going to get rid of as seen in and add content and courses page updates and static pages. All this stuff I've done. Actually, I don't know what's in static pages. We'll delete these guys. I know I've done that work. And in here, here's what we got to do. So we need to write a new URL into the project. So we need to basically tell Gatsby that when it encounters a page from TakeShape, it should create a URL corresponding to it. The way to do that is in Gatsby node. So what this does is it runs after all the querying happens from the config. Config goes and sets up all of our sources. The TakeShape stuff comes from this GraphQL source. In Gatsby node, I'm able to query the sources that we've created to then go and create pages for each relevant bit. So let's talk about how that works. And actually, I think we're going to rewrite this a bit to be a little more generic. We have courses, we have... actually... Are we already doing that? Ah, okay. We did already do that. That's great. I need to update my links to match. There's going to be a bunch of URL work to make sure that we're following old conventions and new conventions are identical. What I want to do is break this up a bit. No, actually I think this is okay for now. So what are we doing with the courses? So we're saying for each course we're going to generate a page from it, and it is using the course about template, which right now is course about page. So it's this guy. This guy is just completely, utterly bland at the moment. So first let's start by updating our URLs to match. All right. On the components, featured courses, actually there's a few places this needs to happen. Okay. So I'm going to write a helper function here, I think, to say get course URL. So we have these components, we have all these templates, utils, courses.js, const get course URL. Well, there's going to be a few URLs here. Get about page URL equals course. Perfect. And we're going to do const get. So there's an about page and there's an info page. And inside of this constant, you might need to update some of this stuff too. All right. So what is this going to look like? Well, for the about page for our courses in the new world, it looks like courses, then the course number, and then the hyphenated course name. Where does that come from in take shape? Well, let's take a look. So if I do all take shape, and then I do get full course list and run it, I do items, and I do, we should pull in the title, course URL suffix, course number. What are we getting there? Probably not enough. Yeah, the course number is good. Get URL from title is good, so maybe this stuff should go in URL utils. I don't really know. Return a template that has course. So we're going to do slash courses, which I think comes from a constant. Yes. Okay. So that would be slash courses slash course dot number. And then we're going to do the course dot title. I think that's it. The info page URL will be largely the same, except it will be slash info. What's the problem here? Okay, so two helper functions that we'll use. We're going to grab the about page URL we're going to use on featured courses, where we have a link. That should not be an A, it should be a link. It will be link to equals what do we call that util? So it's going to be get about page URL. Alright, now on my home page. Featured course. Course number is assigned a value but never used. Course URL is not defined. This should be the same. Ah, okay. Rather than calculating it twice. Cannot read property get about page URL of undefined. That is because I did this import wrong. Okay, so now this should link me to the same page. What's happening? What did I do wrong? Course is undefined coding for designers. Okay, that featured course does not have the number for some reason. Great, that link works. The learn more link doesn't work for some reason. Should be 2, that's why. Great. And we also need to do that on courses. So here, nope. Okay. Here's what I've done wrong. What was it called? Get about page URL. Great. Okay, now we have a unified place for those links. You no longer need that. We need to do this. So course number plus that. Looks like it's getting truncated. Do I have that in there as 1? Hold up. Gym short. Defeating busy. Ah, we have a problem. Those gym shorts, course number should be a string. Darn. Type. Integer or number? No, well, neither. Goodbye. This is going to be a string, and I have to come back in here and give this a 001. That's only a problem for these guys because they start with 0, and it would trim the, because it's treating it as a number, it trims the zeros off of it. So let's run a clean and start. We get a warning. Course numbers assigned value but never used on featured course. Okay. Perfect. That is 001 now. Ah, okay. Next problem. We don't actually have pages being generated for gym shorts yet. So, that we can do inside of Gatsby node. We need to add one of these. And the correct query is going to be get gym short list. Okay, and because we're treating gym shorts and courses as the same in terms of generating pages for them, we're going to write a helper function here. So we're going to do const generate page for course equals generate course page, equals courses actions GraphQL. And we're going to grab all of this stuff here, all the stuff we're doing for each course. We're going to say courses.for each course. Do all of this. We need to extract that. We don't really need GraphQL in here, do we, huh? Okay. And then we're going to kill this, and we're going to say generate course pages for let's see, courses. This will duplicate the bits that we've got in place now, and we can do generate course pages for gym shorts, and that should do both. I think that's good enough. So if we do another yarn start, it should go and pull the data for all of that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Cannot destructure. Oh, yeah. pass in like this. There we go. All right, and we'll try it again. Ah, what did I get wrong? Courses.forEach is not a function. Courses.items.forEach. Yeah. Okay, run it again. Course about template is not defined. Okay. We don't need this in here. We need it in here. All right, so up here, we've got coding for designers, defeating busy in all caps, which I need to go fix, presumably in our CMS. Yeah, oops, that was lazy. Save that. But now we should have a page for each one of those guys. So. There. Cannot read property title of null. Where am I trying to use a title? Oh. So we've got a bit of a problem here. We have two data types, full courses and gym shorts, and because they are stored in different objects in the CMS, this sort of a query won't work. This, for my gym shorts, needs to say get gym short with the ID. So I think what I need to do is pass in the course as context here. Not here, but up here. Which isn't perfect, but we can try that. And I think that's how it'll work. I think. Which also means we no longer need this, which is a little odd. But we gotta try and run this bad boy again. I've got to go update the course number on the other course type. Let's do that. Full course, please. Single line. Delete this guy. Okay, one more time. I gotta clean. Gatsby clean. Yarn start. It'll run. It should find all the things. Build the schema. We didn't get the warning about data types this time. We got our 3 pages. The blog we've really kind of ignored for a while now, but we've got our 2 different types of courses. Okay. We should be able to now come into here. That didn't work. Can I read property course of undefined? Okay. So, I don't really know how to get to context. Sharing pages with the correct context. Create page context. Okay. I see. Wait, no, I don't. Create locale page. I don't really know how to access that context. I thought it was. Here's what we're going to do. Props.page context. I see. Okay, I think that'll do it. Okay, time to do some playing around. So we have an ID for a course. We want to see if we can find it using take shape search. Nope. right, I think I'm going to have to think this through. So what's happening here is before we deleted the page query, it was doing most of the work to grab the in here. It was grabbing all of this stuff. Syllabus, course number, description URL. I guess I could just put that in Gatsby node in the query. I think that might work, actually. Okay, quick refresh here. What do we got? Cool. Okay, so we're back to where we were. I'm not sure that's the best way to do it. And I'm kind of learning as I go here. What we really need to be able to do is to, before we run this query, make a decision of which query to run. So I don't know if this can use complex JavaScript, but ideally what this would do is first query for whether it's a course or a gym short, and then whichever it is, return this information for that course or gym short. For now, this will work. It's being passed via page context, and we're getting all the information about the course that we needed. It's just not the most ideal way to do it, as I understand it. Yeah, okay. Well, with that being said, I'm gonna shut it down for the day here. I'll add all this code to the code base. We'll say generate about pages for gym shorts and link to about pages from featured courses and courses. Perfect. I'm going to be back on next Tuesday afternoon to continue the stream dream. Until then, yeah, I don't know. Until then, I'll catch you next week. If you have thoughts on what I've been doing, I would love to hear them on Twitter. You can go sign up for our courses on Gymnasium anytime. Otherwise, 1:30 next Tuesday, I'll be back and streaming, and we can pick up wherever I am at that point. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.